Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dina of fletchercreekcottage.com, and today I'm here to share with you all about how we built our custom chicken coop. If you want to find out more, stay tuned. It's hard to believe that only a few short years ago this space was completely vacant. Since then, we've built 12 raised beds, a greenhouse, and this spring we decided to add a chicken coop that could also be used as a garden shed. We designed our chicken coop using a free software called SketchUp, and we designed it to fit the 13 by 15 concrete slab that we had pre-poured last year. I was only planning on having 6 to 8 laying chickens, so I only needed about 1/3 of the structure to use as a chicken coop area, which is great because it means I can use the other 2/3 for storing all of my garden tools. For this project, we used treated and non-treated lumber. The treated lumber is used anywhere where the wood comes in contact with the foundation or the ground, and the non-treated lumber is used in the framing of the building. We ordered all of our fasteners, connectors, brackets, joist hangers, anchors, and screws from Simpson Strong Tie. We chose cedar shakes for the roof, T111 pre-primed paneling for the siding, and LP Smart Side for all of the battens, trim, fascia, and soffit. We started our project by cutting all of the lumber to length for each of the 4 walls. We laid out one wall at a time using treated 2x4 for the bottom plate and connected all of the studs using Simpson Strong Tie's framing screws. The 2 side walls are identical, each being 15 feet long and 8 feet tall with 2 small windows. The front wall is 13 feet wide with 2 small windows and a centered front door. The back wall doesn't have any windows or doors other than it does have a little opening for the chickens to go in and out of. Before we stood up the walls, we added the T111 siding and marked out and pre-drilled where we wanted the anchor bolts on the bottom plate to be. Because it gets pretty windy on our backyard, we used a temporary brace to hold up the walls to keep them level while we pre-drilled the concrete. Then we secured the bottom plate to the concrete slab using Simpson Strong Tie's HD Titan concrete anchors. I'd never used these before, but I have to say we were really impressed with how these concrete anchors worked and how easy they were to install. After we had all 4 walls standing and secured to our foundation, we cut out the T111 siding on each side of the window and door openings. Next, we built our trusses using 2x6 lumber for the rafters and rafter ties. For the ridge beam, we used a 2x8. My husband is an engineer, so of course he wanted to make sure that each truss was exactly the same. So we built the first truss, and then we used that one as a template for the rest of the trusses. This jig made it so easy to screw the 2 rafters and rafter tie together. We used the Simpson Strong Tie framing screws to connect the rafter ties to each side. When we had each truss built, then we put them up one at a time, connecting them to the ridge beam using Simpson Strong Tie's adjustable joist hangers. After all the trusses were up, we sheeted the roof using 1/2-inch OSB. We used 2x6 treated lumber and Simpson Strong Tie's fence brackets, as well as hex head number 9 1.5-inch screws to frame up the outdoor chicken run area on the back end of the chicken coop. We added a 36-inch door opening to the chicken run and added 2x6 supports across the entire top to hold the hardware cloth on the roof. It took us 2 full days to frame up the chicken coop and the chicken run. Then I spent a couple of weeks installing all of the battens, trim, soffit, fascia, and painting the chicken coop and chicken run. I used Behr Marquee exterior paint in the color Whisper White. Before we even started building our coop, we had found an antique door at a local salvage shop. I painted the interior of the door olive shade green for a pop of color on the inside. The outside of the door was already stained a beautiful rich wood color that matched our greenhouses and raised beds, so of course I didn't want to paint that. On the inside, we built a 2x6 treated wall and added hardware cloth and another door to enter the coop area. We built 4 nesting boxes with a lid that we can open from the shed area to get the eggs with a lock on it, and 2 roosting areas on the inside of the coop. Once I had everything painted, my husband worked on installing the cedar shakes on the roof while I installed all of the hardware cloth to the chicken run. I buried the hardware cloth 16 inches deep and folded it over like an L to try and deter predators from digging under the chicken run. I also added the hardware cloth to all 6 windows just in case something tried to climb through the window while the windows were open. My son built a little chicken ramp. My husband built a little door for the chicken coop attached to a rope on a pulley so we can open and close the door easily from the outside of the chicken coop in the morning or the night. We couldn't be happier with how this family project turned out. Thank you for following along with us as we build up our backyard with the help of Simpson Strong Tie. Now that phase 1 is complete, stay tuned for phase 2, where we're going to be sharing how to design and build a custom garden fence.